LPT Request What's a hobby I can recommend to my retired dad with limited mobility? He has a really hard time getting around because he has really bad knees and hips. He's had 2 hip replacement surgeries and needs his knees replaced as well. He has really bad mental health issues and pretty much no friends. He's basically a grumpy old man. I'm worried about him. He likes animals, sports, coaching, old westerns, history documentaries, fishing, travel. I've looking into all the cliché ideas like birdwatching, gardening, crocheting, etc., but he needs friends and he would never do those anyways. Any idea? Video games, in particular sim racing. Seems like with the time commitment and the money pit it can be if you let it, retired folks are thriving and there's a bunch of friendly leagues with older people. Decent PC. A sim rig and a VR headset would be enough. Could also use the VR headset for some exercise mobility games. Can wait until I'm also old and retired to sim race with the homies. Where I live, there's this organization called Men's Sheds. There's a lot dotted around the country as it's a growing organization. It's where guys meet up and do activities together. Particularly making stuff out of wood, I think, but also other stuff. It's so guys can have a network of friends and to tackle mental health issues. I think women can also go, but primarily it was set up for men's mental health stuff. You could see if there is something like that where he lives. Install the Be My Eyes app on his phone. It will allow him to interact with others, helping them. With the Be My Eyes app, you can support people living with low vision and assist them in achieving independence. A blind or a low vision user may need support with anything from checking expiry dates, distinguishing colors, reading instructions, or navigating new surroundings. My dad likes to woodwork and carve whittle chunks of wood into things like spoons or figurines. Chess, it's basically the game of grumpy old men. And easy to play online. Leatherwork is good for all ages and can be very rewarding. Tying flies for fly fishing? Everyone I've talked to that does it finds it very rewarding to catch things on your own lures. Gardening can be hard for those with mobility issues. Maybe a few houseplants to fret over? City builder games. Fantasy football, there are tons of leagues you can join online. And the groups I know are all super social. Nerding out over statistics and game results and stuff. This might be too much activity. But perhaps volunteering at an animal shelter? I help at one of our shelters. And I love being with the animals. And I also have some social benefits from talking with the other humans there. Walking dogs is probably out for him. But maybe hanging out with the cats and or the very shy dogs who don't want to go outside. But would benefit tremendously from someone just sitting with them. I like digging through pocket change and coins looking for older rare coins. I've built a nice collection in a few brief moments just glancing through pocket change. Eventually I was on the hunt for certain coins, which makes it fun to search through in anticipation of finding some treasure. Perhaps coin roll hunting is something you can get into. Go to the bank and get $50 and seek for silver. Shit like that. Ham radio is great. You get to know a lot of people and the guys are the most friendly and helpful bunch I know. Depending on the mental health. If he needs focus, puzzles, and yes, Lego. Something for the mind to focus on. A tune doesn't need friends if he chooses to not socialize. Teach him to play Red Dead Redemption 2. Writing? He could maybe write or record himself talking his life and or family history. Might be therapeutic too if he's open to it. What about guitar or another instrument? Genealogy, in combination with history. You might look into a local seniors activity center. My mom used to go to one to play cards a couple of times per week. With my dad, I showed him how to download music and make CDs. He loved it. I fully support the people putting forth gaming suggestions. He enjoys fishing and such, so go for games like that. Ideally a game with controller. Keyboard mouse can be real overwhelming for anyone unused to it. If he likes history, he may like genealogy. I don't have much time for it anymore, but I love trying to solve genealogy mysteries and putting the puzzle pieces together. I started off doing it for my family, then just randomly starting doing friends' families. It's fun and can be done from a computer chair. Are there silver sneakers classes in his area? Senior center. Other grumpy old men. Probably with a lot of the same interests. I seriously doubt he's going to be interested in video games. You can check in your area for senior dances. Or movie nights. I found some close to me and they're usually scheduled to end fairly early. He could Uber maybe? And a pet. Take him to the animal shelter and let him pick one. Possibly he could volunteer there also? My uncle is in his 70s with bad knees and he loves his bocce ball group. It's all old dudes meeting up to play. Billiards, tabletop gaming. Cycling hits all of those. What about him joining a club like the Elks or the like, which I am sure are full of grumpy old men? Does he go to a house of worship? Is there a men's group? I just started down the road of RC cars. Assuming limited mobility but good eye-hand coordination. Try wood burning. It ties in nicely with westerns, animals, and is a historical craft. So, I got into aquariums and fish keeping last year. Building stuff with Legos. What about a trivia night? Someone with his interests would be a good addition to a team. Miniature painting, Warhammer, DD, etc. My dad loves Pokemon Go. He's always calling me up to tell me he caught some Pokemon he forgot the name of and describes it to me. Anything. My dad lost a leg below the knee and so he often used a wheelchair when he didn't want to use his prosthetic leg. And he figured out how to continue his woodworking hobby. Birdwatching, fishing, maybe he could take a gym class for elders to meet some people his own age. Gaming, reading, knitting. I really enjoy paracord weaving while watching things like podcasts or whatever. Endless possibilities. Lots of YouTube tutorials. Bridge because it's quite sociable. Watercolor painting. Fish keeping, it's super therapeutic to start your own ecosystem of fish and plants. In particular, many cichlids can have very bright personalities. My favorite fish to keep are gouramis, angelfish, other South American cichlids, and even a single betta in a 5-gallon desk tank can make someone smile. Most areas also have a local club that does monthly meets, swaps, and presentations. Sim racing or Microsoft Flight Simulator, get him set up with a full sim rig. Cats make wonderful pets. Video games also can be enjoyed on your own without much mobility. Fly tying and or lure making. You mentioned fishing, indoor plants, a pet. You're never too old to learn an instrument. Sim racing with a great wheel. But let me warn you. Once you go down that path there is no way back. It's expensive, haha. Red Dead Redemption 2. Try music. Ukulele is easy and super fun to pick up. Maybe paint by number kits with Western themes? Horses and desert or country landscapes. History video games. He could try making wood carvings or actual clay sculptures. Sketching and watercolor painting. You can also install some bird feeders near the window.